So for our Canadian customers, Larson Juhl has decided to stop providing matrix pricing, and now they're going to provide chop and join pricing, which is actually a benefit and will be a little bit easier to keep track of as far as pricing goes, and also that will also help you track your wholesale costs more effectively and correctly. So in order to make that change, it's very simple. We're going to go ahead and go into our price codes file. And you can do a search for Larson Juhl frames if you want to. So for that, I will find Larson Juhl and we'll check our group as wood. We just need to find one frame. And then go ahead and hit perform find. And here we have our list of Larson Juhl. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of them. And this is telling us that a code is being used to price this molding. Now remember, that matrix code is only for chop and join pricing. If you're ordering length, you don't need to worry about it. You shouldn't be using that matrix code. It should just be for your chop and join pricing. And normally that's something that we help you set up when you first start FrameReady. So let's check our code pricing. Click on the brown tab. So currently what we have is a code that we're using for this molding. And that code is based on Larson Juhl's join price times 2. So if you look at these different sizes of frames, like this one, 18 United Inches, it's $104. So your join price in Larson Juhl's catalog for this frame will be right around $52. And it's a 2 times markup. So we want to go ahead and disable these vendor matrix codes just for Larson Juhl. It's very easy to do this. You just are going to click on the select all codes for Larson Juhl. And then this little pop-up box comes up and asks us if we want to enable or disable all molding with Larson Juhl vendor matrix code. So we want to disable it. Now we're only disabling Larson Juhl. You may still have other vendors that are still using that matrix code. Well, Graphics, Roma, and there are a few others that are still using that matrix code. So this is just taking off that matrix code for Larson Juhl. And you notice now it doesn't say that code is being used to price this molding. So now we're actually going to be using a pricing formula to price this molding. When we import that new list from Larson Juhl, you'll have chop and join pricing. So we just need to make sure that we have a formula for that. So if we click on our frame pricing, it's very likely that you still have this formula in your price codes. So if you do, fantastic. You can go ahead and just leave it as it is and go ahead and do the update, and it will apply this formula to your chop and join pricing. Now, if you don't have a formula, or it maybe looks a little off, go into your pricing options and defaults file, and it's very likely that you still have codes in there that maybe are inactive but can be reactivated to use for your Larson Juhl pricing. So right now I have for our length pricing, I have a default, but it has the whole default formula for FrameReady in there. So I'm going to go ahead, maybe I want to make just a separate formula for Larson Juhl. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and that's going to be down at the bottom. And then under the supplier, I can mark Larson Juhl. So this is going to apply just to Larson Juhl molding. And then I'm checking here the wood frames, liners, fillets, extenders is what I want this formula to apply to. And then I can check my formula here. Now, if I'm not happy with a join times 2 price and I want to change that and say I want my join price to be 2.5. I'm going to change it in two places. In this formula, it's reading that your minimum price of any frame, whether it's link, chop, or join, is going to be at least the join price times 2. And so if you want it to be a little higher than that, we can change that to be the join price times 2.5. Or you can stay lower if you want to. So we're going to scroll down here, and you see where it says in the formula, this is the formula for my chop pricing. So if my chop pricing is less than $5, we're going to have a 2.85 markup. If my chop price is greater than $5 but less than $10, we're going to have a 2.8. If it's greater than 10 but less than 15, then it's 2.7, etc. So if you want to change these and make them a little higher, probably wouldn't go a little lower. This is pretty standard. But yeah, you can go ahead and change this. Maybe I want to have my chop price start at 3 times markup. I can go ahead and just put in 3. Make sure that that semicolon after the 3 doesn't get deleted. That's important, telling the formula to keep continuing on. So I can adjust these if I want to, bump them up just a little bit. And then right now I have my join price is join times 2, but I want my join price to be join 2.5. And then after I've adjusted my formulas and have the markups that I wanted, I'm going to go ahead and hit this button. To apply that, I need to tell FrameReady to, hey, take this formula and apply it to all my Larson Juhl molding. So we hit apply to group, and then we can go ahead and hit apply. And that will go ahead and apply this formula onto your vendor pricing. So now the next step is to go ahead and do the upgrade or the update from your vendor updates. And now these two fields will populate with both chop and join pricing. And whichever you have marked, as far as how you order it, that's the formula it's going to use. Now, if you want to change that, maybe I have this one marked as chop, and I say, you know what, I'm going to order all my frames from Larson Juhl are going to come in joined. So if I want to do that, I can just hit join, and then I want to click on this button, apply order type to group. So if I want all of my frames from Larson Juhl to be marked join, then that's what I'm going to hit this button, and it's going to take me to another screen. And then I want to use option 2 in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to join. I want my supplier to be Larson Juhl. And this is for my group for wood. And then I'll hit apply, and that will apply that join pricing to all of my, and ordering to all of my Larson Juhl. Now the thing that will change once you do this, now you will notice on your work order screen, you'll have a much more accurate price on your estimated wholesale costs, because we have the actual join and chop pricing in there. Whereas with the matrix codes, that doesn't really apply. So that's something that will help you. So yeah, after we've done all the formulas, like I said, just go to your vendor pricing and go ahead and click on Larson Juhl on the molding and do your update. And then that should have everything in there. If you have any questions, of course, we're happy to help you. And I hope this helps. And we'll talk to you soon.